you so much for joining me, Winsome. My name is Natural Mystic, and you are tuned into our bi-weekly podcast where I speak to my favorite authors about the books I've most recently read. And I feel like I'm in a really fortunate position because I actually get my book signed, because I meet my peoples. I love meeting people and connecting. And the lovely Winsome Duncan has agreed to join me, which was one of the first books that I had signed by the actual author with a special dedication. So we're going to have a quick chat, have a quick talk about why you wrote the book in general, your favorite part of the book perhaps, and just a general chinwag about single life and online dating, as I kind of know how you feel, and I've done a little bit of that myself. So the book is called He Loves Me Not, What to Do When Online Dating Hurts. Award-winning author Winsome Duncan. Thank you so much for your time and energy today.
You're welcome, Natural.
Thank you so much.
Here.
And
you've actually brought two books. You brought that one, He Loves Me Not, and you brought Just Write It.
I did. And what am I doing today?
Just writing it.
Yes, I am. I have laid down beginnings of chapters and words and sentences and prompts and things that will keep me going as I'm writing, if that makes sense. So I'm not writing it in like an order. I'm kind of writing it as it comes, and then we can piece it all together in the chronological order so it makes a bit more sense and it can be together.
And do you know what? It was really interesting because when we had a team meeting last year, winter, you were the first one to say, yeah, I'm going to get a book to support. Those were your words. And then everyone else was buying the book. So I sold about, 5 books that evening?
Yeah.
And I just think that's so important. And the fact that you've read it is, I'm honoured because I know you're busy, right?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, no, I love a book. I must admit.
Do you? Okay.
Train, or if I get the opportunity to not be driving, and again working in care, I used to do night shift, so it was actually real kind of opportunity for me to sort of sit down, and take those moments for myself, because if it was the only break I had during the night, I wanted to do something constructive and positive with it for myself. So not just eating as in nourishing the body, but I also wanted to nourish my mind. So yeah, your book was an easy read, if that makes sense, like really funny, really personable. There was stuff in it I could relate to. There were bits in it that I thought, has this woman been following me like a stalker? Because it was just too much to resonate with, and that was what brought us closer together, I think, in regards to friendship, and sisterhood, and doing other things which are in the pipeline. So
we do have a pipeline, don't we?
We do. We've got lots of pipelines at the moment.
Hi. Yeah, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And
a year ago,
it's going to open up.
Yeah, just over a year ago, I think we first connected when I used to do my radio show. And
you were one of summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of our first green to radio, and there you was. And you came and you sang with me, and we spoke about your Just Write It and how important it is to journal, like just to document your life, scribbles and doodles, and just something so you can look back on and see your achievements, and and remind yourself of the triumphs and the lessons learned and all sorts of things. So you've been a real positive and motivational spirit and soul and person in my life. So thank you for being part of my journey for as long as you have. Divine timing is what I say. We met at the right time.
You're most welcome. And it's been a pleasure to connect with you, to vibe with you, to work with you, to chill with you. I always feel expanded when I'm in your presence. And I believe that friends there's a saying that it goes, strangers are friends that you've not met yet.
That's right. And sometimes friends feel like the family that you may not have around you. So you can choose, So I live quite an isolated life. I've got my immediate family, which I love. But in regards to sort of, that close circle of friends, I've always kept it very small. And you've been included in my circle now.
Yeah, I think it's the best way. I mean, even though I'm quite personable in my character as an author and so on and so forth, I quite private and reserved.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know?
So then in
Oh, I
saying
get
that,
it. I
I was
get
going
it.
to say, even though you're private and reserved, you've written several books. But the
I
book
have.
about at the moment is probably something that, during this time that we've had over the last few weeks, is probably something that a few people more so can relate to in regards to online dating or interacting via some sort of, social media or device and not knowing the person directly or being introduced to them directly. So what inspired you, first of all, to kind of maybe write the book?
Well, what people don't know, because I've only just started doing interviews this year, and my first interview was on the Judy Love show with on BBC London with Judy Love, and then I had a second interview on BBC with Clara, and this is my third interview. So I haven't even begun to cover the ground with this yet.
Yeah.
So this book came out, and I guess this is a bit of insight for your listeners. This book came out 3 years ago, and it came out in a pseudonym. And I wasn't willing to put my name to it because I just thought, nah, I just don't want people knowing my business. And I put a pseudonym out, and it just didn't sell. It was the wrong title, and it just wasn't doing what it needed to do.
Wow.
So there was an author on Instagram, something Sis, her name was, and she put out this blog, and it said in one of her Instagram stories, all of that heartbreak you've been through, go ahead and make a story. And maybe when I do a revised version, I might put that in because social media is not necessarily copywritten. But yeah, that's what she put. And I'll never forget that. And I actually probably need to send her a copy and say thank you, because that's what I did. I made a story out of heartbreak, out of mistakes, out of the need to want to be loved and not receiving the positive love that I want, need, and desire as a queen should have. And I think that has a lot to do with about boundaries that you set and standards as well. So when I initially decided to put my name on it, it was about a year ago, and I just updated the previous book that I had under a pseudonym. I think I called it Tinder Surprise. And there was too many other books out with that title, so I was like, nah, I like to be an original. If someone's got the same title as me or similar title, I just change mine. Because I don't want you thinking, one, I'm copying you, and two, I just like to be original. I don't need to be copying people. People copy me, and that's how I like it. Yeah. You copy me. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was born out of frustration. I was going to go out on a date with this chocolate-looking, hazel-eyed brother from Ghana. And he just made up some lies. His car crashed, and he's going to see if he can meet me up still tomorrow or get the bus. And it was just some tall story. And what I didn't like, because, in the book it talks about red flags at the back.
Yeah. And
the red flag that I had with him was he would only take calls after 10 or 11. So that meant that there's the suspect that he could be potentially living with somebody. And for whatever reason, he just decided not to go and follow through on the date and didn't have the courtesy to let me know. And he even called me on the day, yeah, we're still meeting.
Wow.
And then nothing. And it just got me, I was upset, felt ejected, abandoned. It touched my defects of character. And I was just like, nah, this feels painful. Like, that's not how you treat people. Just like, I can't make it. And that's it, then lock someone off. Do you know what I mean? Instead, I'm thinking, was it me? Did I do something? And from that point, I think it was 7 to 10 days, that book was finished and done and out there. I even got my proofreader to proofread it within 1 week.
Wow.
And we were off.
It just,
We were off.
It was the time. It was just birth. All the.
And I haven't told that story
That's what I'm saying. Because like,
in depth.
yeah, it's kind of made me wonder. Because I've read the book. I like I said, I relate to it, but it did make me wonder. Like, oh, what would spark somebody's just go? That's it. I've had enough. Sort of thing. I'm getting this out. So I can totally respect why you didn't, put it out in your original, own name or registered name originally, and then once you kind of saw that you could own your life lessons, is what I like to call them, without fear and without embarrassment. So I really commend you for overcoming that feeling. And that's something
Thank
we've
you.
discussed recently, hasn't it, in regards to me writing a book sort of thing, and what name would I potentially use in, my real kind of birth certificate registered name, or a pseudonym, or something that people sort of associate with me with. So yeah, it's something that I'm still personally considering, but I definitely I'm more encouraged by what
But
you.
there's a difference, because with you using your pseudonym, and I'm putting my consultation hat on now
Yeah.
as a book confidence coach, and the difference with you using your pseudonym is the fact that you're still pushing it and people know you for your pseudonym. That's the difference.
Oh yeah.
You would still equate to sales.
Yeah.
So that's something to really be mindful of and consider.
Okay. A little tip there for the listeners in case you're.
I'm telling you, we're going to drop gold,
I was going to
people.
say, and more time people should pay for this type of info. So look at these little gems that you're getting people as a real sneak treat, because there's a lot of stuff here not even I know. So I feel like I'm privileged to even just be able to have this conversation, in that respect. So thank you, thank you. So I don't like to read much of the book on these podcasts. I'll be honest. I encourage people to go out and buy the book. And there's only a few little bits and snippets that I would share from your book. Is that okay with yourself?
Oh, yeah.
I don't like to.
Yeah, definitely. Please go for it.
Okay.
I've got the book here in front of me, so just tell me the page number.
Oh, could you do 170?
I can indeed do.
Yeah. It don't have to be all of it either. Wherever you feel like stopping at that point, entirely up to you. Yeah. I like the suspense.
Me stopping? You're reading, aren't you?
No, but I'm just saying I like the suspense. I mean, it's like, well, what else is there in that book? What else? So.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to give it all away. I get you. Yeah. Make them buy the book. Yes, Felicia.
Yes.
All right. I understand. Poem Tasting Tears. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, go for it.
Would you like me to read or yourself?
I'd like you to read, please.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So this poem, again, all my podcasts, resonate, and there's a poem in these books that I've been reading. So this part of the book just stuck out for me the most. And it's called Tasting Tears. And in brackets, just underneath, where it really hit me, for Rick the Dick. And just so you listeners do know, we didn't use real names of characters. These are to protect.
Woo!
Okay. It says.
And I'm just going to say here, because this is a chilled, relaxed, girly conversation.
Yes.
So I'm just going to put it out there. This is a two-tone name. So Rick the Dick, as in he was a dick head, dick, really nasty piece of work. And Rick the Dick, because he had a long one.
That's right.
But he didn't know how. To use it, though.
Which is just.
How can you have a long one and not know how to use it?
Because you know what it is. I find that a lot of women are actually quite intimidated to educate how they like to be, for want of a better word, penetrated or touched. And until we actually educate men, they will forever just go around with very useful bits of armor, but not actually know how to use them.
But they've got to be having a willingness to want to satisfy.
Definitely.
And he didn't have that willingness.
Oh no! Well,
he was a taker.
Yeah.
He wasn't a giver.
No. See, and
just because he had these little pretty boy looks, he probably, got away with murder. But you know what they say in it: head gone, head no good.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I go for unattractive people, but I tend to stay away from the overly attractive people, just because I don't need that type of competition in my life.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, straight up and real talk. You know, I
Interesting.
know other women are attracted to the men that I've dated. Don't get it twisted. It's not like I said I go and find a dog in the corner with no teeth or whatever. Not like that. But I'm just saying is that I don't go for the overly pretty boy, the pretty hair, too pretty, overly pretty. Like, no, not happening.
Well, I don't think that there is ugly people. I just think there's degrees of beauty.
Ugly hearts as well, yeah. But yeah, I tend to stay away from, and I'm a very upfront woman. Considering this is a very candid conversation, I like to know what it is that I'm dealing with before insertion, and I have my limitations. And if it's actually too big, I will happily decline it and say, I think you need to find somebody that you can work with that with, because I only get one of these, and you're not going to break it, and I'd like, you know, do it again next time.
Well, didn't Issa Rae, she in her first Insecure, this is why she's just trend setting, and what Issa Rae's done is amazing, and it's the footsteps that I'm going to follow in with this book, and this is why people's not even going to understand what's happening. We're just taking our time with it, but when I'm ready to drop this, you're going to know about it. But what Issa Rae done was, and in fact, I'm going to send her a copy.
Yeah.
I'm going to send her a copy, and I want to send Wendy Williams a copy. But what Issa Rae done was create content, and in the first content, well, initially it started on YouTube, and then Pharrell sponsored it, the episodes on YouTube, and then she just blew from there.
Yeah.
And then it turned from Awkward Girl, because I used to follow her back then, I used to watch it because it was just so funny, to Insecure. And the first one that she talked about was Broken Pussy.
Yeah.
And I was laughing because she was on stage doing this piece called Broken Pussy.
Yeah.
And it really is about loving your yoni and making sure that whoever enters into your yoni is worthy.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned in my years on the planet.
Definitely.
And I'd rather just chill and be celibate than to have some old boy digging up in there and he's not worthy.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly.
I'm with you on that.
I've been. Yeah. I'm quite happy to say I turned down dates and offers and that sort of thing at this moment in time. It's just not where I'm at, and I don't want to lead anybody on or give them any sort of false hope. So when I'm ready to dive back into that pool, I will really be letting everybody I need to know. But right now, I'm really happy learning about self, as you said, and just giving that area of my body a well-deserved break. Sorry, it sounds really bad. But right, so here we go with...
No, it doesn't. No, it's honest.
The tasting.
And that's what I get from you, candidness and honesty. And if we can't be honest at the ripe old golden age that we are, or the platinum age, we're probably not golden yet, but the platinum age that we are, then what's the point? It's about being transparent, and it's about knowing your truth, and it's about setting your boundaries. And if that means people walk away from you, for them business. That's nothing to do with you.
You never know what they just walked away from.
For them business.
Shining somewhere else, you know what I mean? So I'm good. I'm happy with self right now, and that's all that matters. And what I found, just in my own past relationships, is that I give a lot of myself away when I'm in relationships, and then there's nothing left for me. And this is the first time I've been single for 8 years. I've been out on the odd date here and there. I've had, the odd interaction, bumping hips interaction, where I've needed to, but I've not had to take care of anybody else for a long while, and that still feels good right now. I've been in relationships where you do the washing, the cooking, the cleaning, the working, the paying, but I just don't have that energy anymore right now for someone for myself. So I'm good. I feel quite, more than, happy at this moment in time with that era of my life. I'm not saying I'm not close to relationships. But just right now, there's no need for anyone to come knocking at my door.
Got ya.
Yeah, right. Let's read this poem. Rick the Dick. All right. Sometimes I think of you when you're not there. The way the moonlight shone upon your soft black hair. Your manly physique keeping me warm at night. A tingle in my spine when you hold me tight. When you allow me to look deep into your face. Butterflies that tingle inside could never be replaced. Then you grew darker and my feelings were displaced. Treated me so cold until it was my tears I could taste. That night you choked me made me so ill. And we're going to leave it there because I think the rest of it actually means worth buying the book and reading the rest because
No, you can't leave me on a hook. At least go to the bottom. I'm on a hook. I beg of you, please.
You've got the book.
Please. Okay, I'm going to continue then. Because she's leaving us on the hooks, people. Like, I know it's my book, but I'm like, oh, what do you mean you choked me? Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, because
what's going on, people? What's going on?
That's it. That is it. I'm being honest, people. I am that cutthroat. This is where I'm at. I am one of those thrill seekers. I want you to be intrigued. I want you to really feel what's between these pages. And just that little excerpt that I read just now, if you are not captivated and not curious as to what else this woman has been through with the online dating, trust me,
you got to let me go to the end of the page. Come on, girl.
I think it gives too much away.
Oh my God.
But we can.
Okay.
It's your request.
All right. Okay. No, I submit.
Do you?
I submit.
Yeah.
I can't have everything my own way all the time. Not my show.
Yeah, not today. But
not my show.
I really want people to be intrigued. I want them to know that it's more than poetry. There is real, heartfelt, honest emotions in there. There is moments of fear. There's moments of elation. All the things that we all go through, not just women, but men as well. The excitement, the anticipation, the letdowns, the disappointments. I'm not giving away.
Yeah, but also I think that, there's many women out there that are accepting physical and mental abuse from their partners, from their dates, from their husbands, because they feel like they can't do any better.
Mm-hmm.
And in that instance, that particular piece, that was real.
Yes.
He had his hands around my throat, and
yeah,
it if someone tells you, I could bury you in the forest and no one will find you,
yeah,
and you stay, something's not right with that woman.
Yeah, I mean, all right.
Her confidence, her self-esteem, her body,
just everything.
Confidence, imaging, something displaced within her. And for me, I was going through a time when I was high as a kite on weed.
Yeah.
And I was making poor decisions. Mm. So I just excused his behaviour. He's fine. God, do you know how fine that man is? But, he's fine, but we don't go out anywhere. And it's really interesting because I think maybe I've taken my time, because when I really think of Rick and how we met, we were talking online for a year before we met.
That's a long time.
That's another story in itself, but for a whole year. So I was lulled into this false sense of security, thinking, he's a decent guy. Yeah. He's just got his own issues. And then it just all went wrong. So, yeah. But buy the book, people. Buy the book, and you'll find out the rest in the book.
Because, it was a page turner. It's literally one of them ones you pick it up and it gets into it, and then you just can't put it down. It's
I've heard that.
Yeah, like, why would I not want to know?
That is true.
Yeah, it's a page turner. So I don't want to be spoiling and giving people too much of a spoiler alert. Do you know what I mean? I want them to be intrigued. I want them to actually read it with an open mind as well. Just accept it for what it is and digest it for what it is, and just see your words and feel your energy. As you said, a lot of women going through this stuff. A lot of men don't maybe see the errors of their way sometimes. And I think this is a very transparent and candid way of looking at not just dating, but our interactions, and like I said, our self-esteem, our confidence. So on a positive, because we're not going to be too much doom and gloom. On a positive, after you read it and you've exhaled and it's all come out and people know what's going on, how have you kind of used these experiences now to benefit you going forward in regards to dating in general and online dating?
Well, I still online date, so it's not put me off entirely. At online dating periods, I mean, during this period I've been dating online.
That's nice.
I had 2 dates, one in the park and one at the mechanic garage. Both of them fell short for different reasons. What I'm wanting to do right now is to love me more, love Winsome more, go in, fill that empty hole, that empty space. What I've learned from this is to use your intuition and spirit of discernment. And you've really got to do your due diligence, because in the book, one of the tips is about how you can look online and search with their number, their online presence. So I think that is really a way to go. And I'm looking forward to the opportunities of what this book is going to open with the doors, because I've got an awesome team backing me, and I've not always had that. I've had instances where I've been with some real rotten apples in my team, but I've got the confidence now and the know-how to let people go. If you don't understand the vision, then we can't work together. So moving forward, I've just learned to articulate myself more, set my boundaries, set my standards. And if they're not being met, I'm just not interested.
That's it. I hear that. Yeah. Yeah. So do you keep a list, a checklist with the criteria, or perhaps the things that you are looking for in a man?
Well, I do have a qualities list in terms of, he has to be honest, he has to be loyal, and so on and so forth. And in the book, I do have a datement assessment question on page, let's see, where are we?
Yeah, it's not just a book to read.
Dating assessment question.
It's not just a book to read. There are exercises. You've got homework.
Yeah. Page 147. May I read a bit?
Please.
Okay, so this is dating assessment. So after you've been out on a date, this is one way of assessing. It is suggested that when you attend a first date, to make the following assessment that will help you evaluate what happened and will determine if it is the right. I'm not a good sight reader, believe it or not. And will determine if it is right to go on a second date. It will allow you the time to figure out if this man ticks your vision board, list of qualities, which we just mentioned about loyalty and humour, faithfulness, that kind of thing. At the back of the book, you will find some dating question templates to complete. So they're based on a score of 1 to 10, 1 being poor, 10 being good. And I'll just read you the first 2 questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how did the date go and why? So just what's your general feeling about it? Did he smell nice? Did he have poor hygiene? Was his teeth yellow? Yeah. I've had some interesting dates with yellow teeth man. Yeah. Yellow teeth man thought he could come and try to kiss me. Yeah. Oh no. No.
Teeth hygiene is a biggie, is a real biggie.
It is. But remember, you've got people on there with mental health.
I understand that.
And then it says on a scale of 1 to 10, what was your compatibility like and why? And this is the thing, you've got to see the rapport. Was the conversation balanced? Was he a narcissist? Did he just talk all about himself? Yeah. Did you laugh? Did you have a rapport?
Yeah.
Did you feel uncomfortable? Was he trying to touch you on the table? Yeah. All of that, I've experienced, which is the first date. I'm old-fashioned. I don't think that a man that I don't know should be trying to hold my hand and touching up my leg while we're having dinner. I just don't think that's appropriate.
Hands above the table, and we're first of all, it's inappropriate, and we're eating. There's just like levels. You tick like boxes, like you said, red flags. Red flags are going off all over the place. So and
they're not all 1 to 10 questions. I mean, there's another one. It says, what could you have done better? So it gets you to reflect,
Yes.
as a person, like, could you have been on
Hmm.
time? Because sometimes that messes up a
Yeah.
guy. If you're late,
Yeah.
could you have been on time?
Definitely. Definitely.
And so on and so
Yeah, I
forth.
like that. I definitely like that because again, it gave me, something to think about. And, he sat there for extra 15 minutes waiting. Did I say sorry? What was the reason? Did I phone en route? Sorts of things. There was a courtesy. Did I show that level of respect and manners, that I expect? So it is about kind of leading by example, and hopefully that person, reflects that same energy. And then when you do finally connect and whatever, then you can build from that. So yeah, definitely. Like I said, it was just a great read for me, and I know that others will enjoy it. But it was not like a self help, but it did give me an opportunity to look at self, reflect on past relationships, and also have a look at how I conduct myself and the things that I reveal about myself going forward in relationships. So you're giving me more confidence just in regards to approaching men, how to approach men, and the things to consider that they are also looking at, that maybe I hadn't taken on board before. So, yes, a very insightful, well researched book, as well as being personable and real. It's not made up, it's someone's real life experiences. And I really would appreciate it if you would share your socials with us now and let us know where we can get your fabulous book.
No problem. So you, my dear listeners, can go and get a book directly from my website if you want it signed. I'd be more than happy to send you a signed copy. So it's www.peachespublications.co.uk. And if you go to the shop tab and scroll down, the link is there. If you are international and would like to get a copy, it is available on Amazon. So do go ahead and make your order there, and it will get shipped out. I think they've moved it down to 3 to 4 days now. It's available on Kindle as well, KDP, digital download, so you can download a copy.
Folk out there who are trying to save a tree.
Yeah, and it's cheaper actually if you download it. My first person that brought it downloaded it on Kindle. Yeah, so, and they gave me a 5-star review. It's got 5-star reviews online, which is amazing. So download it, please. And my socials in general is Winsome Duncan on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Snapchat. It's Lyrical Healer UK, and I think I've covered all the socials.
Yeah, and I'll also be putting a load of links and socials when this goes out as well, in the episode details, and you'll have all the links and social connections that you'll need for Winsome, so you can get hold of her in many which ways. Please do not.
YouTube. Oh, Winsome Duncan. Yeah, let's not forget our YouTube, and I'm going to be, really working on my YouTube.
Yeah, it's something we'll all look out for, and let me know. And I'll also be pushing it out on my socials as well. So thank you so much indeed. Any final words of advice for our audience, our listening ears?
So whether you're male, whether you're female, self-love is queen. You have to go in like a car. When it's broken down, you open the bonnet, you fix it, or the mechanic fix it, he tinkers about with it. So you've got to tinker within and face your fears around dating, finding love, who you are as an individual, and that's my best advice.
Lovely.
Really.
So for me, what I pick up from that is if you see somebody and they're available and you've been spotting them for a little while, be brave, be bold, and maybe make that connection. And don't be fearful from your past experiences, because what could be waiting for you around the corner could be wedding bells and perhaps the man or woman that you've always been waiting for. So without taking those steps, you won't find them. Lovely. Correct. Thank you, Winsome. I love that.
It was really good. Well done. Thank you for having me.
Yay. So thank you, friends and family, new listeners and listeners of old. If you've liked this, please subscribe. Like I said, bi-weekly podcast with authors and excerpts from books that I love. And next week, I'll be meeting somebody who I've recently connected with via Winsome as well. So the connection is strong, the love is strong, the sisterhood is strong, and long may it continue. Blessings, love, peace, one and all, and we will catch up again real soon. Much love from Naturalistic. Peace out.